It goes really fast.
It does. It does.
The whole time is fast, but the days are long.
Yes.
You're just like, oh my gosh.
But I think I got home and I was like, I almost said to my daughter, "Here, let me scan you." Wait, no.
Yeah.
Mom, are you okay?
Your lead collection app is no longer needed.
Weaving like DNA strands on a fascinating roller coaster of endless learning, experimentation, and discovery of technology, where the destination is not the end and the journey is the most fun. This is the Helical Brew. With your hosts, Mike, Sura, Jeff, and Elizabeth.
16.
1-6.
From the road.
From the road.
From the road.
All right, if you haven't figured it out already, the Helical Brew Crew is on the road and actually in the same room for once, which has not been.
It's a studio on the road.
I think individually some of us have done hotel rooms. Now we're all doing a hotel room because, we couldn't do it in the lobby of the Marriott Marquis.
Got yelled at.
Just going to get a shout out for the Marriott Marquis. Boo, boo, boo. I mean, yeah, exactly. Why can't we just do a little episode? I mean, yeah, I know this looks like a little bit intrusive with our gear and whatnot, but
Who cares? It works.
exactly. But they want their money for their meeting rooms. SLAS 2025 is a wrap. Yesterday, 2.5 days. It felt like, how many?
Exhausted.
2.5 months.
The preparation and
No.
before the show.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got back to my room one night, and I'm like, why do my feet hurt so bad? They were swollen. I'm like, oh, this can't be good.
What is happening? Just one question, Jeff. Is this recording on the deck right now?
It is not, because
Okay.
otherwise you'd see the number values going down, like,
Okay.
like 99, 50, 59 or something.
Do we want to record on the deck or?
It recorded for us. I think.
Okay,
Let's
so we'll
just go
stick,
for it.
We'll just stick with that.
Otherwise, if this is a scrap, when we get back, we'll make that 16.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be some good B-roll shit we can put in.
Yeah, B-roll shit's good.
B-roll shit.
What was it? Hashtag PR.
PR bastard.
Yeah, that was a fun one last night, or the night before last. In any case, Helical Brew Crew coming to you from San Diego for SLAS 2025. This is our wrap-up. If you haven't had a chance to see our lead-up series where we had a few guests, including some folks that were on the show floor. I ran into Will Sura a couple times.
Yep.
That was our first lead-up episode, followed by Eli Fine, also stopped by the booth.
And Ian Cooper.
So all guests that were on our lead-up series were at the show, and hopefully, if you saw the episode and you want to meet them, you had the opportunity to meet up and check in with them and hear more about what they're doing. But Will had it was a pretty cool booth. I don't know if you went over to Ginkgo.
I only went in while no one was there.
Yeah.
So no one could explain anything to me, but just visually, I was like, this is some cool stuff. He talked about the rack, and I'm like, okay, that's a rack, and that's pretty nice.
Which brings me to, they were actually part of a new segment in all of SLAS. They were part of the Nexus XP program.
Yes.
It's completely new, 100%. And what were your thoughts? I figured we're going to do a little bit of a rundown on SLAS, and that was one of the bigger standout things. And, let's check in. What did you think of that?
It was exclusive, so that was a new thing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering
Yeah.
if they're going to keep it that way. But
For the cool
definitely
kids.
felt like something cool was happening over there that you didn't get a chance to see.
Had to have a ticket. Yeah, I had a few people come by, and it's like, what's the difference between the ticket that gets in there and doesn't? A little sticker next to
Yes.
sticker.
You
It's
paid that
a-
much for a sticker? Great.
But some people got it for free, right? The first 100 registrations.
Yeah, first 100
Oh,
got it.
okay.
Yeah, they were, and it's first year. I think it's fair to say it's not something
It'll be fun.
we can, completely draw conclusions on, because it always takes 1 year for things to get traction. I mean, frankly, when I sign up for SLAS, at least as an attendee, I'm just focused on the badge. Does that get me in the exhibition? Done. I'm not. As
I don't need more than that.
as a vendor, I'm generally not attending the conference things. Although I wish I had the time.
Yeah.
I know other vendors
The
wish
time
they
is
had
not
more time.
enough
Yeah.
to go and even to visit the other booths. I had time at the end of the show to go to Nexus, so I was able to see. And it was an interesting setup, and the companies were there. Some of the Ginkgo representatives were there. I didn't get much time to talk to anyone, but it was, there were some people. And also they gave an award at the end for the Nexus participants. So BioZero with the test system won that award.
Nice.
Okay. Okay.
I like that it's a different vibe. Like there's something new at SLAS, you know?
Yes, yes. I was curious how they were going to present all the different stages that goes from the planning and integration, the automation and the data handling. So I think that they did a good job with that.
Yeah, yeah. That it had a lot of detail that you just don't have room for in your own booth. I think that stands true for any of the vendors that participated in Nexus. Where, if you're going to go to the extent of diving deep into an actual customer execution project and kind of, it's a separate conversation, right? More product in the booth. And then you could sort of look at an example solution of where you can take things. I think it was a really interesting concept to break it up into those pieces. Find some vendors that can provide a use case in those, and then bring it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other interesting or new things that you saw at the show?
I wasn't able to get out much.
Yeah.
So I
saw you
missed,
were pretty busy over in the booth.
we were busy, so I couldn't break away. That's why I said when I got there early, when other folks weren't there, I just walked around, so I couldn't necessarily talk to anybody. Some things were covered, but that's okay. But it was just seeing who was there. Is it the same old folks? Yes, but there are some new things, and so it was just kind of getting eyeballs on things and checking things out. So, when you see little toys, I say toys not in a demeaning way, but kind of like, ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hardware stood out for me, and transport hardware especially.
Yeah.
The racetracks, right? All the planar motors.
Planar motor is super cool.
I think that was...
LabSync incorporated it into their booth too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You can go to Planar Motors or you can go to LabSync and kind of see the same concept.
Then you saw the liquid handling, the pipetter movement. I'm a motion control person. So for me, when I see folks doing kind of kinematics with a motor like that, that's kind of cool. And
It's also out of the box thinking. Like the
Sure.
way they did it there, right?
it's sort of to me a little bit
Literally
of
out of the gantry.
out of the gantry. And I remember with the rover thing they did as well back in the day. I think it was Formulatrix.
Yeah, for the
They
electrics.
put that underneath a pipetting head.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I mean, it was a little more quirky because the rover has the same limitations of a mobile robot. And it depends on the drive mechanism as to how maneuverable it is. Does it have to get in a perfect straight line like a tank before it can turning, right? I call it tank turning. It's fine for a tank, but for a mobile robot in a small environment, like
3.7 turn.
that's right. So,
Well, don't they have Omni wheels on those things so
Yes,
they can
they
just
do.
spin on themselves?
They do.
Okay.
on the rovers,
Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh,
they
wow.
can spin on themselves.
Yeah.
I thought it was a okay. I thought.
I didn't notice it back then though.
Yeah, I think it's new.
I think it's new.
Is it new?
I don't
It
remember.
makes total sense.
Because it was ridiculous.
They're like $20,000.
Yeah.
It's a Matchbox size $20,000.
I know.
Well, maybe I probably got the price wrong, but anyway, it's one of those things where doing that with a magnet is like way cooler.
Yeah. Well, and the motions you can do with a magnet is, I've pulled out of here. Okay, now I need to spin. Well, the magnet sitting there is just going to spin, and I saw something on the LinkedIn post, and it just starts spinning. Then comes running over to the pipetting machine and does a little dispensing or aspiration or whatever. So you've got multiple facets of devices. It's basically just give me this planar surface, and I'll duplicate multiple devices or feed multiple devices pretty quickly.
That was
Right.
the coolest thing at the lap sync booth, where they were using the planar motor instead of actual pipette based mixing. You had just
Yep.
the thing spin and
Yeah.
making the agitation.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun, and I also saw a lot of robots on the floor.
Yes.
We had a bunch of robots, and and there's some clever applications for I think handling things other than microtiter plates, which is a trend as well. Right.
I saw a really cool plate imager. It looked like a U, very futuristic looking.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of bring the robot arm and just hold the plate, image it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a-
Image it without letting go.
Yeah, they let us actually take it with us, so we're going to integrate it and shoot a video and show how we can integrate it.
Well, like a CT machine, shove the
Well,
body
it's
in the tube, or
it's
what?
very interesting. It's like in this U shape, and then it just fits perfectly into a nest, a movable nest,
Oh wow,
to a plate.
interesting.
So you don't even have to it takes seconds.
Clever.
Yeah.
What kind of imaging was it doing? Did it let you know?
Just plate, I think it can do cell density too.
Okay.
I haven't seen exactly, but I'm looking forward to playing with it.
Cool.
Yeah, I've never been on the exhibition side before. Props to you guys. This is
Now you know
hard
the work it is.
work. Oh
Now
my
you know,
God.
yeah.
The whole
This is-
weekend was gone. Friday was gone.
I was going to go to this talk or that talk.
Nope.
No, you're
No,
not going
no,
to
you're
any
not.
talk.
I barely got to see our partners because you're
Yeah.
kind of trapped at the booth.
Yep.
You're in the booth, and
Yeah.
that's about it. So
Yeah, thanks
that's
guys for.
I did a lot of walking around when we were setting up because I was checking with each of our partners how we needed to give them signs, and so at that point I was able to talk to more people on the floor.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the show started, I was most of the time at the booth.
It goes fast.
It goes really fast.
it does. It does.
The whole time is fast, but the days are long.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
But I think I got home and I was like, I almost said to my daughter, "Here, let me scan you." Wait, no.
Yeah.
Mom, are you okay?
On the show.
Your lead collection app is no longer needed.
I do not show this person as a
I
participant.
went out to eat and I started scanning barcodes. I don't know. Autopilot, right? Scan more leads.
Well, some of the menus now are
That's right.
Well, when we have a
I got a
marketing
lead. No, it's just a menu.
when you have a marketing department who's all into QR codes, I mean, she's totally into it. It's like everything's a QR code.
We have so many QR codes for everything, and we were thinking for next year, what other QR codes we can have for other links, like to the website, to the driver page, and yeah.
I saw it on your name badge too. It
Yes.
said,
Yeah.
scan me.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it, and people they didn't want to scan because they thought they had to have the app from SLAS, and I
No.
was explaining it's not.
I completely blanked on it. Honestly, I forgot
Yeah.
about it. I'm too busy scanning them.
Those lanyards, though, let me say, SLAS needs to bring that up a little bit. I was crouching to get to people's navel to scan their badge. You know what I mean?
Well, they have
You're
two
not
types
that
of lanyards.
tall.
I
Remember?
know. It's like
Mike, yes, I can see. He's giant. But
It's size for the extreme case.
yeah, on you, it was the right size. I love it.
but his arms are so long. He's like, yeah, I got you weighed up.
Yeah, well, these lanyards are compatible up to 6'8". Oh, we forgot about everybody else. But okay.
Sorry.
And keep in mind, there's two lanyards that you got. I mean, one lanyard was for exhibitors, and it was just that little. That one was a bit higher, right?
Yeah,
It was
that
just
was
Yeah, it's more up here type of thing.
sort of a bungee thing. And then if you were actually part of the conference, then you got the stuff with the marketing on there. Mm-hmm. I think the default one. I think that was
Most of them were
I've
Hamilton.
just switched mine out for the JSAT ones.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of the companies do. We have our Brooks ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Redisoft, of course, the red ones.
The
you
red ones.
You can see from a mile away.
You had a really good spot this year. You were right
Oh,
on the
yeah.
pathway,
Yes.
and the
It was
red was
fantastic.
very visible.
You could just
Yeah.
look down that giant aisleway as you walk in the door and turn left. Bam, it's right there. Just
Yeah,
this bright
location.
light. It's like, oh,
Brooks
angelic.
is always noticeable. It's got bigger booths and
Yeah.
a sign at the top.
The fun part there is that logo has been seen. It's been in this industry for quite a while, even though it's with the split after Azenta. It's a little bit different layout as far as the companies, and we, I've gotten pretty good at explaining, how that spin-off happened. And it was all planned, right? But yeah, that Brooks logo, we get to keep that, and that's the one that's been in the industry for a while. It's the Azenta folks that are explaining what's the triangle all about.
Right, who are you?
It looks like something off of an oscilloscope. They've got a pretty cool logo. I like how their brand turned out. I think it fits with the products that they have.
But the Brooks logo is more recognizable.
More recognizable, yeah. And I mean, Brooks is a really long-standing robot company in the industry. It's an American robot company founded out of Massachusetts, I think those brands. I mean, that Hamilton, right? I mean, that's so
in your
recognizable.
Yeah. And they're like right by the door too. So.
Oh yeah.
Right by the door, and yeah,
Always
Tecan and
good
Hamilton
spots.
have those branding. That's like legendary, right? It's been around for a while. There's not going to be too many major changes to it. Although the Tecan, I think they went through a rebrand a little bit, but it's still very recognizable. I love all the process of the case studies that companies go through when they do that kind of thing. It's just for this kind of thing. When you go to a trade show,
Yeah.
that recognition is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were dispensing the logos on the
I was going to
microplate.
bring
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that's right.
And it turned out really, really
The
nice.
Sortis Flex was dispensing logos, which I think worked better with some logos than others. I think the Retisoft logo worked pretty good.
It
Yeah.
was really good, yes.
Same with the Future Drop. Ours was a little bit more challenging because all that
a little
stuff,
blocky.
all that stuff happening on the left.
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on
It
there.
still look very good.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it was for. I was explaining it to a colleague. It's kind of like VGA resolution. You're VGA sizing your logo.
It's 64-bit.
You're retroizing. It's
It's a 16-bit logo. It's
384 well plate. But I love that. I love that Certus and the fact that you can just say, oh, yeah, no problem, 1536. It just deals with it.
Yeah.
It's a high precision.
When our team was developing the driver, I hadn't seen it physically. This was the first time I'd seen it. And yeah, it's not dispensing the full plate, just the logos. But I was impressed with how quick it was.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you can't see the drops. I thought I could, with glasses on. And so I'm looking against our white background, trying to see. I can't see it. I cannot see. I think we were dispensing like half a microliter or something like that. Some tiny amount. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't see it.
And the orifice for the opening is it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just tight.
Is it human hair?
When you get a magnifier on it, it's just this perfect stream of fluid. It just doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
No interference. No like drops flying off the side coming out.
Right.
The way they've got that diamond ground tip and the valve. Yeah. It's the amount of R&D that's gone into their product is quite impressive, and it all boils down to that head.
Yeah.
You can take the head off, put a different head on,
Yeah.
angled head. They've got the new device now out, and they previewed another device. That was very cool to see. In fact, their neighboring company. I didn't have a chance to catch up with Tim Dawes while I was there, but the Trisonic was neighboring
Yeah.
with UK Robotics.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious, what their traction's been since the last SLAS. Did you have a chance to talk?
Yes,
to them?
I stopped by.
Yeah? How are they doing?
They're in beta testing, still
Okay.
not fully released the product. I think it's going to be after summer that they will have the product ready.
So for those that don't know, Trisonic is creating it's almost like when I look at it, and I'm hesitant to use the term a mini ATS, but it's an open ultrasonic dispenser.
The A1.
Yeah, so it's a A1.
We're
It's
gonna have another round of those.
very compact. Yeah, ultrasonic. Yeah, it's like
But it's compact. That's the thing. It's not this massive box,
And also
which is
cost.
cool.
But the ATS was compact.
oh.
There's a debate on the floor.
I'm not sure what your definition of compact is.
The little one, right? The one. It was this big and it was open.
I don't remember a little ATS. I only saw the big one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll show
The
you.
Gen 5 or
Okay.
whatever. Oh, okay. You have to show me.
Yeah, it was
I don't know
yeah,
that one.
stuff. But there were a lot of newer liquid handling companies that I saw.
Right. Let's
Right.
talk about those a bit. Yeah.
They had definitely adopted, shall we say? It looked like similar configurations from what I'm used to seeing.
Adopted.
But new
Adopted.
company.
A clever word.
Yeah.
Great description.
Unoriginal? No.
Well, because it felt familiar, but they were they were a different company.
Different company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's that is still the kind of a cadence of the industry, right? Liquid handling.
In the
Yeah.
3000s area.
Okay, yeah. And Opetron's had a bigger booth, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very-
Past. And most of it was filled with the Flex. So I think they've had a lot of. Did you see the announcement from them? Speaking of liquid handling, Millipore partnered with Millipore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, that's
I'm looking
That's
forward
cool.
to seeing what they come up with.
yeah. Creating vertical solutions with somebody like Millipore. That's an interesting setup. It kind of reminds me of the alignment by other liquid handling companies with Illumina for doing NGS workflows.
Yeah.
Is having that sort of co-brand. It's like, we don't want to get into your business, and you don't want to get into ours. Awesome. So here's a kit. And if you like certain software, if you want Venus, you want Fluent, whatever your
Right.
preference is, you can pick that. I remember that was one of the early consistent co-marketing things I saw in this industry was that. And I feel like this is another one where you've got a smaller device and you kind of create a partnership around a synergy, if you will. So good luck to them on that one. That looks cool.
There were some cool integrations of what you would imagine to be lab automation with industrial applications. Like there was a company that had basically like a closed system where it did powder dispensing and gravimetric readings, which is really nice because sometimes you get clients that
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, was that Kempspeed?
I don't think it was Comes.
Oh, okay.
I
All right.
forget the name. I'm gonna put all the names of the companies we talked about in the
Or
description.
Zinzer
when we
Analytic,
publish,
one of
but-
those two? Yeah.
Yeah, but it
Okay.
was really cool because we had a client that we were working with,
Yes.
and they wanted powder dispensing and liquid dispensing and agitation and mixing, and you can configure all that in their box.
Okay. Okay.
Very
When I
good.
told them the price point, they were like, "Yeah, not for that price."
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I said.
And oh my gosh, the name escapes me. I spent a fair amount of time in their booth talking with them, but the new product award winner was a thermocycler company,
Oh.
PCR Space. Right? So
Okay.
for a robot person, when I first walked up, I'm waiting for the Pac-Man style thermocycler or something like that, and I'm so happy to see something that looked more like a high-end imager. Had a nice horizontal exit, flat plane nest. Had a special insert that managed the plate because it's got those PCR plates, right? And so it was kind of cool just to see how that all came together. But they won the new product award, and it looks
Congratulations to them.
quite robot friendly. That's always the challenge, right? And also the reliability thing. When you're having to have this clamshell thing, it's a lot easier to make a simple linear bearing mechanism. Yeah, where you also have the risk of something getting caught on the way up.
Yep.
Plate
Yeah.
sitting.
Yeah.
It's not to say it's a bad solution. It's just it's one of those things where, as far as automation friendly comes, it's good to see those kinds of that thought process. So that was one that I did notice. I didn't even follow the new product award. I just knew there were a few companies that I recognized on the floor that were eligible for that. And then you remember last year's new
Yes. I
product
was going
award
to
winner,
say
Toby's company.
Toby's company.
That's,
What is the
Liquimetrics.
name? Liquimetrics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liquimetrics. Yeah, so they're doing volume, non-contact volume detection. So you can do closed loop. Yeah, actually, that's a workflow you can do. You can closed loop dispensing with that. So all the best to them as well.
It's the first time I saw some what would be traditional 6-axis robots in a work cell on the floor. ABB had, they were probably not. I think they were ABB, but they were ABB robots. But I thought that was kind of a unique. They're sort of futuristic, dystopian-looking edges that are all soft and rounded robot. And I saw that moving around. I thought, okay, well, that's kind of a non-traditional robot in this application because we've talked about and we've had it in our experiences where you run into those cases where, hey, all my stuff needs to be just like this, up and down, but just flat.
Yeah.
And I can't have this coming over type of stuff. So, but they were doing it.
Yeah, that was. I've seen various permutations of the serial link 6-axis robots, and Theirs actually got me looking at it a few times to kind of understand because for me, I've been involved in designing, studying the kinematic, right, and how it ends up. And we've seen the UR where they just stack the rotary joints on top of each other, and versus like Stoibli, where I used to work, they were famous for taking on what was the original Unimation design, where you kept the wrist completely coaxial. So you could, the last joint, if you straighten the arm out, was coaxial with the fourth joint. And the fifth joint was so very much like your hand. The sixth joint was a twist of your fingers. This was your fifth joint, and the fourth joint was your forearm.
Okay.
Whereas now they look nothing like. They've lost a little bit of the anthropomorphic nature because they're just stacking links, and so it doesn't, have that alignment of a human arm. And part of it's for cost reasons, of course. Right?
Sure.
It's a lot more expensive to create a gearbox that can keep it coaxial.
Yeah.
But in the end, it can reach into things a lot better than something that's got sort of big bulky joints around. Yeah, I did tinker with some of the arms that were on the floor. Varying degrees of I think price point as well. You could tell some of them were not using different harmonic drives that weren't, you feel the instability in them. But yeah, it was a good mix of robots on the floor. And
did you see the announcement from PAA that they are releasing a new robot with vision gripper?
oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was on LinkedIn. I don't think that robot was at the show, but they are advertising it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And speaking of vision gripper, I enjoyed demonstrating that at the booth. We were actually making changes, not to the physical driver per se, but maybe turning on the LEDs. So blacking out the background, illuminating the foreground. So what we were looking for on those fiducial codes was better, because we were finding, if someone's standing behind here, we're throwing everything off a little bit.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot. It ran all day. And we didn't, it wasn't just let's show this when it's time. We were doing the vision every single time. So we'd do that at the front end, adjust it and grab it. And then when we go back, do it again. So it was twice in the same workflow. So just kept running all day.
Yeah, our team was, a couple people commented at coming back to our booth that you were using our IntelliGuide on there. And we made a point in our booth to show off IntelliGuide in the three main use cases.
Yeah.
Plate detection, clear check we call it, where you can verify if a plate's in the right position, verify if it's even present, or if a plate has been taken away, and then height detection using the z-axis, the stack, and of course barcode reading.
Yeah.
Probably the most common use
That
for it.
probably will be the most common use for it.
But it was great to see you using the downward facing camera to get that alignment.
Yeah, it was on the front. It wasn't on the downward, but we had
that's right. You had them horizontal.
Yeah,
we were doing vertical.
We did have some people kind of taking it to that next level of saying, "Oh, so will it auto teach the entire deck?"
It can.
Like, it can, but we're not there yet. Next iteration.
That's like the dream, is how little can people teach.
I know, they just don't want to touch the instruments.
Well, it's
but
not that. It's just it takes a long time.
It does.
A really long time.
It does. But I retort to them, I didn't, but I could in the back of my mind go, "Oh, you want to auto teach the deck, but yet you want to manually walk up to this thing while it's in full automation."
Right.
Okay.
They're
Make
not
it
ready
make
for
sense,
that
please.
contradiction.
Make it make sense, please.
Balance that request out a little bit.
You know that the Formulatrix team, they were showing that robot as well, the stack solution, and they also have the plate detection, the vision in that robot.
Yeah. So did Lab Donkey. They had that too.
Yeah.
Lab Donkey.
Yeah.
I saw that name.
Lab sync.
This episode brought to you by Lab Donkey.
I thought that was a great name.
It's catchy. I remembered it.
It's catchy. That one you will remember.
Yeah.
What did they sell? I have no idea.
Yeah, it was definitely cool because we were showing off how you can grip tubes and move them. So I think there was a lot of different ways that people were trying to get at the problems the industry is having.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're super excited of what folks are doing with the vision system, and also I sometimes it's great to make that revelation that it's not just a embedded limited vision system. There's a full-on PC with a vision engine PC grade,
Yeah.
right? A full PC processor that you can do. You can go on if you want to do the blob analysis manually and set up special vision functions. It's all there. We had a few requests around that. I'm
Very
super
cool.
excited to see those come
Yeah,
to.
I can't
wow.
wait to see what work comes out of all the things that people are seeing, because it gets their gears going on innovations and ways to kind of make their applications work, which you saw highlighted. I know we're talking about hardware and software, but like there was a lot of actual good poster presentations on what people are working on too in labs. And
Yeah, let's switch gears to that because I did not have a chance. I saw one from that had a Bruker instrument in it, and that was kind of cool. But yeah, what did you see that was exciting?
Well, I was just going to plug that people should go and check out the posters.
And you know, I gave a tour. I volunteered with SLAS to do a first timers tour, and that was a lot of fun. And one of my first things was go check out the posters as well, because that's an area that's on the back. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, I think they put it in a good spot because it was right behind the SLAS
Yeah, this year I
booth.
thought it was accessible. Like you saw
Very
it
clear
when
where
you
the
were
posters
going.
were, and I think the SLAS booth had a huge draw this year. Usually does, right? Because it's sort of the hub for the whole membership.
But this year, especially because they had like things that happened in the area, like we had
Exactly.
the recruiter hour, and like it was in.
Yeah, the job postings. I saw it was
Yeah,
right next door to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was much more aware of it than I've been.
Yeah, sometimes it's sort of hidden off to the side somewhere.
I mean, admittedly, for all the times I've been going to these shows, I never went to the posters. But I had a customer say, "Oh yeah, I've submitted a poster," and we know we do work with them, and she says, "Well, it didn't have the particular product that they use from us, but it did have an image of the system as it's laid out in
Yeah.
the workspace." And I'm like, "Okay, tell me the poster number." And I went and checked it out. So we're gonna have to dissect that. I'm gonna
That's cool.
see if we can get it from them.
Post
and-
it on LinkedIn.
yeah, I'm working with her to get that poster so we can bring it back to our website and kind of say, hey, here's a collaboration. So
Because we wrote something and had dynamic devices in their XMLs and how we use those files.
Cool.
And they put that on their website
awesome.
or LinkedIn post once.
Yeah.
And that's where the innovation, I think, comes from people using the products that you sell in ways you hadn't thought of. You're like,
Yeah.
I know we helped put that system together for you, but you took it to a whole different level. And they're not going to report back to you. They're just kind of ideating on their own in their labs. And then you find out, you're like, holy smokes, I can't believe you guys did that.
Partners, they report back to you, right?
Yeah.
I was like, Elizabeth, look what I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, show off.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
you can see what you did. Yeah.
One bummer though, I gotta say, is like SLAS did not have like an SLAS T-shirt that they gave out. The bottles were for members only. It was only buttons. I like
Well,
my
join
SLAS T-shirt every year.
That's what. That's
a pitch.
You want the
You want the
You want
swag?
the swag.
Sign up.
I mean, pretty much every company. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
But it was free T-shirts last time. It was just if you attended.
Yeah.
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 I think they ran out. Maybe.
Maybe.
Got traumatized.
I never
It was
got
like the
one.
yellow.
I have to.
They
I
ran
have,
You're on
out.
some kind of
It was
meetings,
this
aren't
year.
you?
It was
I was a
last time.
member for several years, and I just happened to be talking with the folks over at the booth, and they're like, "Oh, that's right, you renewed your membership. Oh, here's your water bottle." I was a member for several years beforehand, so it's like I didn't. Yeah, but the fact that they do it at the booth and at the event, I
Yeah.
think drives
That's
the
cool.
participation, which
Yeah.
is great. Not just sending you something in the mail. It's like, oh, I'm a SLAS member. I mean, it's
After a few years.
as they mentioned. I mean, this is the
I
biggest
know. I've been a
event of
member
the
all
year.
years except this one.
Oh, yeah, of course, right?
Of
I mean,
course.
Mike's giving tours with the SLAS jacket.
the cool
Oh,
jacket.
we deem you worthy now. Here's a water bottle.
You were doing some recordings at booths too.
That was
I was-
fantastic. I was watching some.
oh
of
yeah,
those.
we had a camera crew. Yeah,
was awesome,
I
man.
really,
He's like huge and she's like short.
I pitched for having a camera crew on site, and we really wanted to use the content as much as possible there at the site
Yeah.
for just doing some simple promos and things like that. And we're still getting our groove, I think, and we'll find other ways to use that capability. And yeah, a lot of it's you can go through a big production, but when you do that internally, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
do it for
Seemed
our
very natural. It
and the
just worked
brand and
out.
whatnot.
No, you're just a regular man on the street. It's like, here we are at a booth and go. And
Yeah,
you did it.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll run by like what Jay said. I remember I asked. I said, "Well, how would you describe your company in one sentence?" And it's like, and it was. I just grabbed
And
the
then he just
brochure.
grabbed a
I
brochure.
found the brochure. I'm
Got
like,
it.
okay, well,
That's
somebody
my
thought this
sentence.
out. We're going to use that,
Use sentence 1 and
just
4.
so I can provide some.
He came
context.
up when we had like 3 people talking to us. We're like, okay.
Yeah, no, it's like, I don't want to be a time sink for talking with customers. But yeah, no, it was really nice to see the rapid cooperation to do that. And speaking of that, also had a lot of folks come up and ask about the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah,
me
That was
too.
fun.
Yeah. That was surprisingly a lot of people actually that
Yeah.
they're listening to us, and
And
thanks.
and how many more subscribers? Because we called them out. It's like, well, have you subscribed?
Yep.
Well, no. Okay, give me your phone.
Yeah.
Open it up.
Yeah.
Smash that subscribe
the
button.
subscribe button and ring
Subscribe
the
and
bell.
like and repost.
Yeah.
Smash ring, smash ring.
Smash ring.
That's the,
The problem is
Hashtag
that you
smash
subscribe
ring.
to YouTube, so that's what stops the subscriptions and likes.
YouTube.
But we
We
live
should
off
have
of
had
that.
a QR code for that.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so it was Ian that mentioned it to me. I think he was talking with you about it. A way to do a YouTube post
Through Loom.
Yeah,
that
yeah. So
doesn't
it just
take
plays
you-
automatically.
that doesn't take you off site.
Yes.
Yeah.
He talked to me because he came over
Okay.
to our booth
Yes, yeah, I
early.
talked to him as
Right.
well.
And I talked to him. He's like, "Hey, we've used Loom, and I'll have to tell you guys all about it." I'm like,
Yeah.
"I've seen those things. I just wasn't sure what
The
platform
engagement
to use."
is limited because there's just
If they have to
you're
go
gonna
away-
click off site.
Internal,
You're done.
They're not coming back.
And some of our shorts are much funner if they just play right away.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, and that's what I think LinkedIn has done a good job. Well, good or bad, however you want to look at it, in terms of keeping you on their site. It's like, well, if you want to put a video that plays automatically, upload it to our site.
Yeah.
We will be your YouTube, but they're not a great YouTube. YouTube's YouTube, not LinkedIn YouTube. You know, it's like LinkedIn.
But it's also LinkedIn because you can embed YouTube videos in other sites. It's just LinkedIn doesn't have
Oh yeah,
that.
they want to. Well, they want to keep you there.
Yeah.
They want post your content with us.
They want you to swipe all the day.
Well, now that
We'll
they
figure
have,
it out, we'll figure it out.
I don't know for folks out there watching. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like you can go. Is this TikTok? Oh wait, no, I'm on LinkedIn.
Yes.
It's the same.
Now it's confusing. Sometimes you see something that I'm like, what? I'm not.
Yeah.
App am I on?
It's like,
Facebook,
it's
Instagram,
like
Link talk.
Facebook.
Yeah.
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 I didn't get it in time for the conference, but I do have some helical brew swag coming, so that's good.
Sweet.
Come on, nice.
Nice.
Sweet.
Care to share, or is it kind of?
Well, I want them to be surprised by what we're getting.
Right.
But
Oh, okay.
definitely we'll have like stickers.
All
and
right,
stuff by the
all
next
right.
show.
And there are other events on the horizon. One of the things that came up when I was doing the announcement for the prizes at the end of the show was the conference pass. They gave out a conference pass to Hamburg,
Oh, cool.
and of course, my trip to Hamburg is not going to be free. So I didn't win. I didn't win that. Yeah. So for those of us that are paying, that will be another event that's coming up. I think it's more relevant for the vendors, especially because they're getting mostly folks that are local to Europe. But for the vendor side, of course, going to conferences out of country is going to be more the norm. And I think you're going to try to go, right?
Yeah, but that's great that it's going to be in Hamburg, Germany. I'm excited.
Exactly. Yeah, Hamburg's awesome. It's a great city. And it's central to so many biotech companies, unlike Barcelona.
Yeah.
Barcelona, great destination, not a lot of biotech.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the European folks didn't come this year because they're waiting for Hamburg?
I think so.
I saw the statistics, and it looks like maybe that's what's happening.
I got that impression.
Yeah, and also the location, because it's a very long flight for them to.
Oh, whereas
to
Boston is closer.
Boston is closer. I think Boston we get more European attendees, and also here I notice a lot of Asian
I saw
companies.
Yeah, I think it's
A lot.
Asia and the West Coast go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Europe and the East Coast go hand in hand. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty typical. And their numbers continue to grow regardless of those biases. I mean, they're getting overall growth year after year.
I can't wait to see the dynamic there.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's a little bit of fits and starts. I mean, Ireland was so awesome.
That
but it
sounds
was
like
Ireland,
fun.
They took over the whole Guinness factory. We got to go up in the Guinness factory.
Yes.
Unlimited brew, helical brew in unlimited brew.
In Guinness. Oh my goodness.
Guinness helical brew. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard it was a great party over
it's
there.
incredible.
Barcelona sounds like fun. I was just confused because I didn't feel like there was a lot of biotechs there.
No, it's really not a
The
lot.
biggest one I think is, there's a lot of production there, not a lot of research. So, to be clear, Spain has a ton of pharma. It's like Lilly's big pharma.
It's on the
production
manufacturing
plant.
side. Yeah. Totally different space.
Roche, they Spain is a great spot for manufacturing for sure. And the Lilly site, they have a site there within the site, if you will, that does robotics and R&D and things like that. But it's not as big as you would find at other Lilly sites.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah, I was approached, speaking of shows, I was approached like the second day late or something like that by someone from Analytica. I think that's the name of it.
Yeah.
It's happening in Columbus, Ohio in September. It's going to be beautiful, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, what's Analytica? I thought it was a company person. I'm ready to scan their badge. I'm like, and then she elaborated a little bit more. I'm like, oh.
It's the PitCon of Europe, in a way.
Okay.
sort of.
Yeah, she says it's a lot of European stuff.
First
and
time it's going to be in the
exactly.
US.
They're trying to bring it to the U.S. So Columbus, Ohio, more centralized, I think.
Yeah, I don't know about the
We'll see.
I don't know. I mean,
It's Columbus. I get it. Okay.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and explain that a little better.
Give me a reason to
'Cause,
want to go there.
I was born in Cleveland, and well, back then you wouldn't do anything in Cleveland except make steel.
Yeah.
Well, but now it's come around.
Yes.
Cleveland's fine. Cleveland's great. Nothing against Cleveland. Born okay, but I am a Ravens fan because they are the OG Cleveland.
That's right. They are.
Not going to do this new stuff. So yeah, Analytica. I've been going for years. That is a fantastic show in Munich, and I wish them all the best in the U.S. because they really cover a broader range. A lot more analytical in there.
Yeah.
A lot more clinical chemistry.
Okay.
So it's a bit of an the old AACC, they now call it ADLM. A little bit of SLAS and a little bit of PitCon,
And
all
the
wrapped up
country.
in one.
So it's worth going, you think?
Oh yeah, I think I'm going to check out the one in the U.S.
Okay.
First time for everything. That's fine.
All right.
Go.
Let's link it in the description.
Yeah.
We'll link it
Check
up in
it
the
out.
description
Yeah.
and check that out.
It's a great
'Cause I
drive
heard
for
about
me.
a couple of conferences I hadn't heard about before, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like people are sharing what they're going to.
Future Labs is catching
Labs.
some traction, I
There's
think.
also Automate.
Yeah, Automate is that one's an evolution, really. I mean, there was the original Robot Show, Robot and Vision Show, and then it just sort of evolved into Automate, where you had
Just
kind
simple.
of robotics, automation, integrators all in one place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good event.
Yeah, it's a very good event.
It's a good event.
I think
Detroit this year.
Detroit.
Yeah.
I'd probably go.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crossover is great. So for folks that are on the show circuit like we are, you can see it between Automate and SLAS and PitCon. A lot of overlap in terms of the people that are traveling to these events because there's more industrial coming to this market.
Okay.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
more fluidics going to those other markets.
Yeah.
And so the crossover, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a greater integration at some point, maybe a special event or something like that.
That'd be
Trying to
great.
predict the future.
We'll just
Well-
put one on.
But that's what's going to happen.
I want to mention as well the LRIG group. Things are, new planning for the whole LRIG community, and there is a lot of work that is being done by the marketing committee to get LRIG to another level.
Yeah.
So I'm very
great.
excited about it. I'm part of the LRIG Canada, and we have so much interest in that chapter only. But I think they made a great effort to showcase all the chapters that are in the U.S. and then as well trying to engage with the community in Europe, because I know there's some LRIG chapters in France. I think France and Spain. When I can remember exactly which other Germany too. So yeah, it's getting everybody together and kind of collaborating between chapters and kind of supporting each other as well with the marketing and everything like that.
I think it's great to have them kind of work together because then you can message out,
Yes.
and get that
Yeah.
hype going.
Yes, we had a lot of interesting conversations with that too.
That's great. And it was great to catch up with Andy
Yes.
over at
yes.
the President's Reception.
Always great to see him.
Always great to. Actually, no. Where did we catch up with? Yeah, it was at
At the
President's.
president's reception. Mhm.
I saw him a couple times in the hall. Sometimes you forget, like, oh, I talked to that person.
The days kind of ran together. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
know I saw you. I don't know what day I saw you.
Was that 12 or mid? Oh, it was 1 in the morning. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
That was a great one.
And running into Jesse, that was a great
That's nice,
conversation.
yeah.
You know, talking about doing maybe a El Rig Nevada. El Rig Nevada. I'm on the hook. I got to talk with my crew, my meetup crew in Reno.
You have a meeting soon.
We do have a meeting soon. Haley just announced it.
Yeah.
We were talking about that because we took a break, and it's like we're sort of in the window where people plan to do it, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so
Glad everybody came to my town for SLAS.
That means you have to come into some other areas, by the way. There you go.
Yeah, no.
it's Boston or wherever, and the meetups, right? You're all welcome to come to our meetups in Reno. Those are all.
I'm just going to fly out for the weekend. Here I come.
I mean, for us, it's.
I figured tie it with some training, maybe with another company in town.
Ah, good point. Good point. Yeah.
That's the way I pitch
Business
it. You know? Business case, right? Well, you could just tie that in with something else that's happening.
But you also have a SLAS meetup.
There's going to be a meetup
June?
in June at the Auto Museum in the famous Harrah's car collection.
Oh,
It's
wow.
a very famous, serious car collectors. They're in the Harrah's family, and a lot of the cars are sitting in the Auto Museum. So we're looking forward to that. More to come on that, but what do you say? We wrap up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Highlight show?
We could talk forever.
We could talk forever. We
It was
could.
a lot of fun.
Like we said, it was 2.5 days, but it felt like 2.5 weeks. And in our minds, with all the discussions we had, all good stuff, a lot of things happening here in San Diego. And so, thank you for joining us. And don't forget to hit that, ring that bell, and smash
that subscribe button.
subscribe button on our YouTube
Like,
channel
subscribe, reshare.
for Helical Brew. And for more information, or if you want to just get direct to the YouTube page and not worry about looking it up, visit us at helicalbrew.com. We're also on iTunes as well as the Spotify podcast system. Video and audio available on Spotify, audio only on iTunes, but both published simultaneously if you'd like to do that as well. So until next time, until next show, this is the Helical Brew from San Diego saying, have a great rest of your year.
Thank you for joining us on the Helical Brew. We're glad to have you with us. For more episodes, please visit our website at helicalbrew.com. That's helicalbrew.com.